the chief economist of governments in Africa network, held a 3-day forum starting 17th to 19th June 2025 in the Gambia, themed Powering Africa's Future, Energy, Access and Financing Options. The Gambia's Vice President, Muhammed B.S. Jallow, delivered the keynote speech highlighting the Gambia's Yiriwaa National Development Plan and the government's commitment to power industrialization through electrification.
For the 2025 Chief Economists of the Gambia of Government Annual Forum, which is co-hosted by the Gambia and the World Bank Group. This year's convening of the said meeting is unique not only because it is being held here, but because it focuses on an important topic for Africa's development aspirations, namely the energy sector. Thus, the theme for this year's forum, Powering Africa's Future, Energy Access and Financing Options, is timely and relevant. It echoes the ambitions of many African policymakers, including those of the Gambia, where everyone should have access to affordable and reliable electricity. Electricity that not only provides lighting but more importantly powers the industrial base of the continent to promote economic growth, create jobs, and increase economic prosperity for our population. Your Excellencies, for the Gambia, this theme strongly aligns with our national development blueprint, that is Yiriwaa, and the energy sector roadmap. The Gambia has made remarkable progress in expanding electricity from 56% in 2017 to 74% in 2024, as already mentioned. With a number of ongoing projects led by the government and supported by the World Bank and other development partners, the Gambia is on track to attain universal access ahead of the United Nations SDG target of 2030. The recently approved Gambia infrastructure project by the World Bank pushes us closer to this lofty goal. As a government, we remain fully aware of the challenges pertaining to reliability and affordability of electricity and its attendant impact on economic growth and private sector competitiveness. The government of the Gambia is committed to working with partners to address the challenges facing the electricity sector and create a level playing field and enable environment for private sector development. To further address key sectoral reforms, the country currently draft compact under the aegis of the Mission 300 framework to address the structural issues in the sector. Ultimately, this will provide an impetus to further leverage private sector participation in the industry. Our successes so far have been achieved on the back of major reforms and investment in the sector. In particular, we have made significant investment in the electricity infrastructure in the country and improved connectivity to our neighboring countries through the Gambia River Basin Development Organization, that is OMVG, and the West Africa Power Pool, thus allowing us to participate in the regional electricity net market. This has allowed the Gambia to import electricity from our neighbors at relatively reasonable costs, thereby lowering our overall cost of electricity supply. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, earlier this year, we are happy to launch the first nationally owned 225 kV transmission line and a national control center. These investments are core in addressing legacy issues of inadequate transmission infrastructure, reducing power system, and digitizing key infrastructure within the sector. On renewable energy, we have diversified our sources of electricity generation with the completion of the 23 megawatt Jambud solar power station, which I understand you'll be visiting on Thursday. This project, jointly financed by the government of the Gambia and the World Bank, European Union and the European Investment Bank, is a demonstration of the government's commitment to explore and exploit renewable energy sources by diversifying the energy generation mix of the country and ensuring access to affordable and reliable electricity for all Gambian populace. We welcome the ongoing support to develop the 150 megawatt solar park in summer. We also look forward to financing the tender for phase 1 of this project and the concurrent commencement of discussion for phase 2. Distinguished delegates and participants, as at the heart of the energy access challenge in Africa is the lack of access to financing. Meanwhile, the current trends in international finance, trade, and geopolitics suggest that Africa cannot solely rely on external financing of key developments such as energy. More than ever, our strength as a continent will be measured by our ability to coordinate better amongst ourselves and to mobilize domestic resources through taxes and private capital to finance our development agenda with pride and purpose. On this note, I'm glad to know that the Chief Economist of the Government Network will be using the forum to launch its maiden flagship report on financing African economies from within. A report written by economic advisors across the region on the pathways for increasing domestic financing for development. This is indeed commendable, and I congratulate the network and the authors for producing this report. Your Excellencies, on the domestic resource mobilization, the Gambia has made significant strides in this area, increasing tax revenue from 7.1 billion, that is 10% of GDP, to 18.8 billion, that is 11.2% of GDP in 2024. Our progress has been underpinned by strategic reforms to improve the tax administration and processes such as the rollout of Asikuda Wall, the implementation of the single window platform, e-tracking, and the digital way bridge, the deployment of a custom and inland border control policy, the implementation of electronic excise stamp for key manufacturing businesses and importers, the implementation of the fuel marking process, and the approval in 2024 of a duty waiver policy establishing structured rules for the administration, monitoring, and reporting that has collectively helped expand our fiscal space and strengthening economic resilience. However, we also recognize the need to balance revenue mobilization efforts with the realities on the ground. Without economic growth and rising incomes, revenue collection efforts may not realize the desired outcomes. And this is where ideas on how to realize these goals are particularly important. Hence, we in the Gambia look forward to the policy recommendations stemming from this report. And I encourage my colleagues from other African countries to also get copies of this report. Finally, let me commend the World Bank Group for establishing the Chief Economist of Government Network, and to you, the economic advisors, for being members of the network. As economic advisors, we play an important role in the day-to-day administration of our countries by offering top-quality advice, economic and development issues. I certainly can attest to the hard work being played by our team of economic advisors here in the country for all their expended efforts. A peer network that convenes economic advisors from over 40 African countries to deliberate key policy issues in the region and to share experience on the ever-changing role of economic policy advice is indeed an important one and something we should all support. In conclusion, it is my hope that your stay in the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa, will be a fruitful one. On behalf of the government and the people of the Gambia, I welcome you once again and invite you to explore the country and experience firsthand the warmth of our people. I wish you a fruitful deliberation.